I want to get started in this next video, so I need that base. And that base is going to start with a slab of clay. So I just kind of grabbed a chunk from my bag. I'm going to pull a little bit more off. It's okay to have a little bit more than you need because you will cut around it essentially. Again, I'm going with this mug here, and I have my template ready to go. With your ball of clay here, I'm going to first start it out in my hand, so I'm going to get it flat. Just kind of pushing it with my hand, squeezing that area. Just getting it started. It'll just make life a little bit easier. And then I'm going to stick it here. And I need to pound out my slab, so it's going to get a little bit loud here for a moment. I'm going to use the palm of my hand. I'm going to avoid using this area up here. This area up here creates a lot of divots and marks that I don't really want, whereas this area is much flatter. If I want my slab to move this way, I will pound it out going that way. I can also turn it and pound it out going that way. That'll help you get your circle. I'm going to get started here using, again, the palm of my hand. And I'll flip it over. I am going to flip it over again. So I'm looking for about 1/4 inch thickness. So I got my ruler here. If you don't have a ruler, it's no big deal. And I'm a little bit over that, so I might pound it once more. Okay, let's see how I did now. Much better. That's sitting right at about 1/4 inch. I can take my plastic rib. I don't know where on earth it, oh, there it is. Disappeared to. And I can clean up the surface. Flip it over and clean up the surface here. The next step is I need to create my base. So I'm going to eyeball a circle for this base. I'm going to use my pencil. If you have something at home that you'd like to use to get you a perfect circle, like maybe something like this to trace on, go for it. I'm just going to eyeball mine out. I might draw quite a few lines here in creating my circle. And I'm sitting at my diameter about 3.75, 3 3/4, and 3.75. So I think I'm happy with that. You don't want something smaller than 2 inches. You probably want to sit somewhere between 3 and 4 inches for your base. Just a suggestion there. And I will take my scoring tool, and I'm not going to use my curved edge, but I will use this sharper edge. I'm going to clear some space over here, because what I like to do is actually move my canvas mat rather than my tool. Gives me a little bit more control. Again, my table's really slippery, so also kind of keeps me really in the round. Kind of use my tool there at the end. Pull this off because this will be used for my First Coil. And looks a little thick. It also looks like it got just a smidge smaller. Actually, I'm staying at about 3.5. So I might pound it out a little bit more. But I also think it was a little bit thick. So you don't want to do this if your slab is super thin. But mine was a little bit thick, and sometimes it is in the middle. And that looks much better. So now I'm at 375, 375, and 375 for my diameter. I am going to fold up my canvas mat, because I am a huge fan of using this as a makeshift banding wheel. A banding wheel is a tool in the clay room that will turn your vessel or your pot really nicely and easily, and this is what this is going to do for me here. I got my leftover clay, which that clay was a little bit hard. It was leftover from students. It's a little bit harder than I would like it to be, but I think we can roll with it. See how it goes. So I get my coil started in my hand by just squeezing. So you can also tell that it's a little bit harder clay because of all the cracks that are kind of already started just from stretching. And when I roll out my coil, I'm going to make it look really easy. It will be difficult at first, and it will get easier. I'll roll it kind of along, and I try and do full rotation, so it comes up and comes back, and then I move my hands down, adding a little bit of pressure each time. So again, a little bit of pressure, full rotations, even pressure, super important, even. And I'm gonna move my computer just a little bit more because my coil's getting longer. Same thing. So, what I'm looking for my thickness is about 1/4 inch. Clay loves to be 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Clay loves to be even the whole way through, and it loves that 1/4 inch thickness. Now you don't want a really fat coil that sits really chunky monkey, and you also don't want a really thin coil that sits really daintily on your vessel. Those are going to cause issues later down the road, so anything smaller than 1/4 inch is a huge no-no. Anything larger than 1 inch is also a huge no-no. So nothing too fat, nothing too skinny. And when I go, I might roll it once more. It's a little thick. When I go to add my coil, I'm going to score the surface that I'm putting it on. And I need to figure out the direction that it's going. And it is, let me get this more of a profile view, it is going inward. So my coil needs to sit on the inside of this surface, but I do need some slip. Add a little bit of slip. You score and you slip every single coil that you add. This will sit on the inside, so you should see the direction that it flows already happening before you even lay out the rest of your coil. If you're going out, it should sit on the outside of the form, and then you should see that outward motion. If you're going straight up, it should sit right there, even with your vessel. I am going in, so my coil is going to be placed on the inside. And I always want to overlap, and then I will cut to my base there, pull that off, and also pull this guy off. And then I spend some time smoothing out the coil into the base here. I'm going to use my pointer finger, smooth that clay, and again my clay's a little bit harder, so I have to use a little bit more force. Your clay straight out of the bag is real plastic and real soft. I'm using kind of recycled clay, making it work, but also want to smooth that out on the outside. And I will take my plastic rib tool and I will clean out the outside surface here. So I'm dragging it along the edge and clay is coming off as it should. Clean up my surface. So I've got a cleaner space over here. And then the inside's still pretty rough, so I'll also spend some time in here too. And then I will check with my template and see how I did. And that looks really pretty good. I'm going inward and I will continue to do that here in my next video.